What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in back to the channel. Today we got our 91 240SX behind us. We're going to be doing a budget-oriented install for the audio system. If you guys are in the same boat as me, I'm daily driving a 30-year-old Japanese car and the audio system absolutely sucks. Now this isn't some crazy build like we did for the Miata. If you guys are curious what an expensive install looks like, I'm going to leave a link above for you guys to go check that video out. But first, we got our budget install. Behind me here, I got some kicker speakers for the doors and the rear deck, as well as a ghost box. The ghost box is actually going to be a module that acts as a radio, kind of. I'll show you exactly what it looks like. I'm going to leave all the prices for you and the links below, of course, if you guys wanted to do this job for yourself. Now, if you guys have a different car other than the 240, you can go on to Crutchfield's website. This is not a sponsored video. This is just what I like to use. Crutchfield will actually let you choose your exact car and show you exactly what sizes and type of speaker you need for your vehicle. For us specifically, the front doors are going to be a 4x6, and we got the loudest RMS possible through kicker. This is the CS model. It's more of a budget oriented style. They get super loud. The audio quality is really crisp. The lows on these aren't incredible, but the highs are great. You could always compensate with those lows by adding a sub. Now next up on the list, we got some rear deck speakers. These are 6.5 by kickers, another CS style. The RMS is really what you're going to want to look at here. So that's going to be basically your peak volume. This is the ghost box. This is actually going to be replacing the OEM head unit in the car, but it's going to be hidden. This is going to stay right behind the OEM head unit, and it'll look factory, but actually we're going to get the Bluetooth connectivity with this. Now this operates 4 channels at 50 watts each, which is a crazy upgrade over the OEM, which ran a total of 22 watts. So we're going to be doubling our power for every speaker, as opposed to just running 22 watts for all 4. Now we chose this because, one, the price, it was like $130 for this kit, and it's plug and play. That's enough talking about the products. Let's dive into them. Okay guys, I want you to listen to how bad this audio system is. Remember, it's 30 years old. Everything is original, so like everything's blown out. Listen to this. So obviously this audio system is trashed. Let's replace it. We'll start in the back. Okay, so now the rear speakers are right here. We're gonna have to get access from inside the trunk underneath. So I'm gonna be doing some gymnastics real quick. Now, in order to get access to the rear speakers, we're gonna have to take off this cover piece right back here. Now our clips right here, all around this area, we're just gonna squeeze them together and pop them up. I don't wanna use tools. Yeah. Man. There we go. Wow, those speakers are done for. Look at that, look how old they are. It's like, I mean, they're paper falling apart. Like, look at, you just trash. We got a couple 10 mils holding it in, so we're gonna just drop those. All right, awkward angles, but in our kit for these speakers, it did have an OEM harness, which is super cool. It only goes on one way, so you can't really mess this up like I'm about to right now. Spade connectors are on, and this is just gonna plug into the original harness. And we're just gonna do a quick test just to make sure that the active system in this car doesn't mess with anything. Make sure these work before it all goes back together. Oh. So this is actually a little complicated, and not all of you guys are gonna need to use these, but I believe that's a little washer backing piece for the bottom side because we have to use just regular screws. So I'm gonna hold this underneath while Alina screws in the screw, and hopefully this holds. All right, so we got all 4 of the washers on the back side of this, and now we're gonna move on all the way down there to do the same thing.
All right, both speakers are installed. Just time to put it back on the deck panel and move on to the doors. Done.
Now for the doors, it's just as easy as a Miata door. We only have a couple places to unscrew and disconnect, and we'll take this off in a couple seconds. So we'll start here at the door handle. We'll just pop this housing piece off. Then there's gonna be a screw in here. And now this entire piece can come out. And we'll unplug this handle here. And then the last screw right here behind this little cap. And now we should be able to pull everything off. So So now we have a couple screws on the speaker panel. We're just gonna unscrew those and unplug the system. It's actually super funny. This entire area right here is supposed to be connected to this. So it shrunk over time, got brittle and broke apart. This is trash. Oh my God, come on. Ah, how bad that is. So same style as the rears, it does come with the harness. So we're just gonna put our negative to negative and positive to positive. Get a nice connection and then right into the OEM harness. So we tested the door speakers, they work fine. We're gonna move on to the passenger side now. Quick side note guys, if you have the active sound system like we have, there's 3 amps that you're gonna need to bypass, and I'll put a link below so you guys can splice in together. I don't really want to give any advice for wiring and be held liable and have to try to figure out an issue with someone DMing me and saying, hey, I followed your instructions and this didn't work. I'm gonna leave a link to what I use down below. Hopefully that helps though. It's basically just bypassing all of the active speaker amps. So we got all the speakers and the wiring corrected and everything's running perfect now. Let's install the ghost box. We're gonna take off the shift knob here. Oh my God, come on. Now the center console comes out. Be very careful not to break anything. I honestly think this is easier to work on than a Miata. I know, I hate to say that, but it's the truth. We got 4 screws on the radio. And we should be able to take it right out. Come on. And then on the back side here, we're just gonna reach around blindly and disconnect all the harnesses off of the OEM radio. We'll set that aside. Now with the ghost box, they do give you the harness to connect everything together. As long as you have a Honda, a Nissan, I don't know if they do them for Miatas yet, but if you guys email them, you can probably get them to make you a harness. But for us, it's just plug and play. Put the big one to the big one, small one to the small one, and that's literally, oh, and the ground. We'll stuff away this power cable for the original radio all the way in the back. What I'm gonna do here is actually stuff this all the way back too. For the ground here, I'm actually just gonna use a screw that's connecting the shift knob to the chassis, or the shift ring to the chassis, I should say. There's the nut that we use for the ground. Now normally, I already know it works for myself, but make sure before you put everything back together, make sure it works. And we'll throw our bezel right back on. All right, it's time to test it for you guys so you can see if it works or not. So we're gonna turn the car on so you guys can hear what it sounds like. Open up the phone, go to your Bluetooth settings, and you're gonna have Ghost Box pop up right there. You'll hear the chimes so it knows you're good, and then we'll just play some copyright free beats. Okay, for the 5th time now, let's play some music so you guys can hear that it works. I'm gonna be playing one of my buddy's songs. If you like his music, I will leave a link down below for you guys to go check it out. Let's start the song. So it's all controlled on the phone. Lows are really good for the price of the speakers. The lows are really good, better than I had thought they were. The highs are really good. Unfortunately, the one downside to this is that you don't get any of the equalizers, so whatever's coming out of your phone is what you're hearing through the speakers. That's a good and a bad thing in my opinion. For the most part, as long as your audio quality is good, you're gonna hear some good music. I'm freaking sweating right now. So I'm gonna end it here. Ghost Box, 10 out of 10, great. Kicker speakers, great. I hope you guys enjoyed this $300 budget install video for the 240SX. I'm not being sarcastic. I really actually enjoy the setup that we installed here. Took a little longer than we expected. That's intended. I'm like having a heat stroke right now. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna end it here. I highly recommend the Ghost Box and Kicker speakers because they're good and I use them in all the cars. So if you're new here, my name is Sal. Consider subscribing. We got new uploads every Monday. If you have any questions, go hit us up on TikTok and Instagram at 86goals. You can see all the behind the scenes footage over there. For now, that is all. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.